Well, this is second time because I started talking, I was about a minute in, and I did not have the record button hit. So here we go. I'm stepping on something sharp. So what up? I wasn't planning on doing a second video, and I just sat down from flying, literally. I did the video I put out earlier, but I kind of want to talk about this. I saw a lot of people's reviews. I am not going to say anything about anybody else's review. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and obviously everybody's flight style and style period is different, but I wanted to talk about some of the things I've done to it already and my experience, and then questions and suggestions, because number one, I'm getting bad VTX signal. I went through the menu, through the Betaflight Cool menu on the on-screen display. I swapped my antenna, so I got a little bit longer of an antenna. It's not where I want it to be compared to everything else I fly. I don't know if there's any recommendations. Worst case, I will just figure out what the hell the wires are on there, and hopefully I'll be able to use the VTX that I use. That would be super cool. I don't see why not. You can't change the VTX power, so the Eachine VTX02 or whatever the hell it is. Actually, I'd have to get the 3 so I could stay at 25 milliwatt, because 25 milliwatts does more than enough for these guys in the distance that I fly with them. Even playing in the trees, like I was doing the other day, completely fine. Anyway, so I have obviously used some upgraded batteries. I swapped the frame. I modded the canopy a little bit. I put some foam. So number one, the camera is attached to the canopy. And I'm doing this and talking about this because there was nothing out there for me really that helped me inform myself to the decisions I wanted to make and what I'm going to do in the future. The canopy is attached by 2 screws. The board is attached separately, all by itself. Do I have an open frame? I do. So, nope. We got a different one. So here's OJ, and on the very end you have these little tiny tabs, holes here, and that's what this guy's attaching to. So it's not the regular style canopy where it attaches where the normal board mounts are. That is the only mounting points for it. It kind of floated before on the front and in the back. So what I did was I had these little tiny rubber isolator washers, which you can't see. I put a drop of hot glue on there to keep them there, so when I take the top off, they don't go flying away. So there's a little bit of glue there. I took some foam, some double foam stuff. I inserted some of it right there, and a tiny bit on the back, just on the little edges there to stop any of the vibration. I went to fly it first in the house. As soon as I got it bound, before I tuned it, and I just wanted to tweak it through the house, and the camera angle is way up. So just trying to cruise through the house, and it's not super wide in the vertical, so I couldn't see shit just cruising around the house and didn't want to hit anybody. Stopped immediately, said this is not safe. So I brought it outside and I did some flying with it, and I was like, cool, not bad, I like it. I just flew the pack, make sure all the motors worked fine, no heat, no any of this and that, and then charged back up, went back out, and I had my tune on it, and I was like, oh boy, what a game changer. Yes, it flies a little heavy. I honestly like it. You know, this is a good example of, you know, it doesn't weigh anything, and it flies good, but it doesn't carry momentum. If you're a quad flyer, you understand that. If you're kind of new to it, you know, it's a good example is throwing a freaking tennis ball over and over and over, and then the weight of a softball, where you're going to put oomph behind it and it's going to go. And when it goes, you have that momentum. So literally, like I was trying to teach my buddy Chris when you're flying, with a good tune, get it forward moving a little bit, and you got your throttle where you want it. You literally don't even have to touch the throttle. It just goes. And this thing just cruises along, and it dug into the turns, and it just flew very smooth for me. I think I got rid of most of the jello by playing with this. I didn't have it as tweaked as I do now, and I didn't record this flight. The video I put up, I saw a little bit in there. Until I 3D print, until I buy one, or my buddy, I think Quadfather, shout to Quadfather, is screwing around with some stuff. So I kind of wish that the baby turtle, or with their version of it, had the 2 screw holes in the side, so you could just literally have screw holes in the side of the canopy and attach it, adjust your angle. That, I think, would be a more consumer-friendly version of this thing. I call it Pearl. When the top is completely clear to match the props, it'll make sense. Right now, it's just a blue blob. Kind of reminds me of the Cookie Monster or something. But I name it Pearl. It just can be my chill flyer. It does have plenty of pep. It will go, flip, and roll. I had no issues with it. I think I might turn the idle air up a little bit just as you're power looping and you're coming down. And that's something that comes with as you become a more advanced flyer. So when you power loop and you're coming back down out of it, knowing when to get into the throttle and smoothly bring it back up so you don't do it hard at the bottom and you get that shudder and then it goes. That comes with time and experience. But you got to adjust. I didn't have to adjust too much, stick-wise to fly this. I thought it flew fantastic. And again, with that momentum, just pitched it forward, left the pitch there, and I just was gliding back and forth. It was able to get into the trees where I wanted to. It just was tuned good. And that's a bonus to it. And again, I just did my kind of general throw in what I throw into everything, see what it does from there, and then adjust. I didn't get any prop wash. Not that I flew it hard enough and was crazy power rolling and stuff, but that's not what that's for, so I'm not worried about it. But the power loop test I did, the roll test that I did, super, super pleased. My only what the hell is going on kind of antenna, Jesus, stop thinking, is why is the VTX signal not as good as everybody else? It's maybe a different VTX that's in there compared to other ones. I don't know. But obviously, I changed the angle of the camera. All I did was kind of bend the little tabs, and I don't have it out. It just got like a square C thing that sits along the bottom of the camera, and it's got angled little tabs with the screw holes. Kind of tweaked them a little bit. I put foam in that tray, and then along the ridge of this thing, which you probably can't see. No, you can kind of see it. If you look in there, there's some foam in there. So when you push it up in there, it kind of helps lock it in place. I got the screws to line up, screwed them in tight, and boom. And obviously I had to round the hole a little bit. So I went from, I think they said this is 30 degrees, maybe I'm at 15, 12, somewhere in there. Props and the prop guards are not in view, which is perfect. So I got just enough, and I can actually see a little bit lower down. And obviously if you're flying in acro, that's not an issue because you just pitch forward a little bit and you can see. If you're flying in level mode, and you're looking for that cinematic shot, not worried about bouncing around in acro, trying to play through the trees, then the angle will definitely benefit you, and you'll be able to, because when you're in acro and you want to lower yourself down, you can just dip and go. But throttle-wise is the only way because you're flying level and you can't see. So with this, it will help. But again, that will hopefully change with a canopy change. There is really nothing out there. I don't know where I put that canopy. I had a canopy that I bought. Is it here? Okay, I do. See, I have that. I thought even looking at it. So I was experimenting and found this. I'm probably going to put this on Booger at some point and then just kind of add some green to it. But this is kind of what I'm looking for. And it has a little mount here, but this guy is too small. If it had the holes, like I was talking about, then I could have mounted it through that. And then this would attach, goes over, boom. So I'd love to find a bigger version of this, or a beta, the HD version of this. That would be something ideal. So if anybody has an idea, I would greatly appreciate it, because this boring blue, and it's funny because under the light, it does not, like you're probably seeing this crazy vibrant blue. It's not that blue. It's not, that's just the phone enhancing the color or something, because it's not that blue, so it won't stay that way. But yeah. I was very happy with the smoothness of it. I think these are Gemfan props that I put on there. I forgot. I got so many different little props for it. I'd like to find some cool blue ones. That would be even cool too. Even cool. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Let me know what you think. This obviously has the Spectrum receiver. I just shot the thing up in the air. And hopefully I can figure out the VTX thing, because I want to put it in the trees and I want to get some cool shots. I want to send it out in the woods and not fear that it's going to flake out, because I am not going into Tick Valley again. So that's where I'm at. I didn't really give you any specs on it. There's enough videos out there if you're looking for specs. 14,000 kV, 2S. I'm assuming you could probably do a little plug thing and run it on 1S, but I don't think it'd have enough power. I don't know what the weight is. I don't got the scale out. The SD card Nice and simple, just goes in there. It's already recording, and I did it by accident. You can go into the on-screen display and change your VTX power if you could, or some of the settings, but you can also access the camera settings. There's two different ones, so you can go in and change the vibrance of it, the sharpness, I'm assuming the recording if you want 720 or whatnot. So I mean, it's super versatile and very impressed. I'm retracting saying that I hated OSD. Now that I can see my voltage, I can change the camera settings and stuff like that right from the sticks and don't have to. Not that, the SpeedyB app is hard. That's quick, but right there when you got the goggles on, it's become super convenient and I'm falling in love with it. So on that note, I'm 10 minutes in. I am going to go relax, spend some time with the fam. Peace out.